and welcome. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to see this beautiful woman in front of me. Although I've been seeing you more lately. I
Yes.
have. I have. Those of you who are just listening, because not everybody is seeing your gorgeous face, but they need to. So we'll talk about
Oh,
that later to get them over. But we are talking to Selina Albright today. And
hi.
hi. And I'm
I'm so
so
happy to
excited.
be here.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you here. I have interviewed you. I feel like I'm like, oh my gosh, how many times have I interviewed Selena? I don't
Probably
know.
like maybe twice, but
Maybe two or
I'm on your
three.
Patreon. So since I'm on your
Yes.
Patreon, you've been talking to me more often and we talked about the retreat and everything. So I've been enjoying my sister time with you.
Yes, we've been having sister time. That's right. So kind
Yeah.
of off stage time. So those of you
Yeah.
who do not know Selena, you are going to really, really, really enjoy this. And those of you who do know Selena, because I know Selena's got you have like super fans, like which is so that's kind of the point to me of being an artist is forming the super fan, forming the person that is dedicated, that follows you, that supports you. So I'm
Mhm.
really excited for them to hear that because I'm hoping some more
Yeah.
gets revealed to them that they don't really know. But I'm gonna
I
have
hope
you
so
talk up
too.
a yes, I'm gonna have you talk up a storm, but I have to read this to you. So just sit back,
Okay.
relax. I'm gonna read just a little something, something. Yes, take it all in, grab your tea.
I finished it already.
You already finished it.
Now we're
Oh,
to the water.
okay.
Okay,
All
go
right.
ahead. Go
Well,
ahead.
yeah, grab your water. All right, so let's go. So listen to this. Los Angeles native independent singer songwriter Selina Albright has an impressive way of evoking powerful emotional responses in her listeners. With her sultry, angelic tone and elaborate vocal arrangements, combined with powerful multi octave wailing and energetic stage presence, she certainly is one whose voice and spirit pierce directly to the soul and command attention. Albright has had many successful hits. I couldn't put them all in because we try to get through the podcast. But since 2010, she's had these, including two number one hit singles, Discovering and Holding On, which were in 2020. Even more notable than her recording credits is her extensive, y'all. Now, this is, I had to really cut this down, Selena, but so I just want y'all to go back later to her website. But her extensive international performance history. She has traveled the world on her solo tours and also shared the stage with a long list of artists that I'm really trying to condense down, but I want to share with you. And they include, but they're not limited to pianist Jeff Lorber, George Duke, Joe Sample, vocalist Shaka Khan, Will Downing, Eric Roberson, and of course, her multi Grammy nominated father, saxophonist Gerald Albright. She is sassy.
Yes.
Yeah. She is sassy, jubilant, loves high quality food, and she regularly pulls back the curtain for her social media followers to reveal a dynamic glimpse of who she is, has been, or is becoming.
Which is why it's good I'm here today.
I loved
Ah,
your bio. I loved
thank
your
you.
bio because it is so you, but I want to hear from you. How did it feel hearing that back read to you?
It felt really good. I just turned 41. I am just realizing my dopeness right now. I need to redo my bio for 40. I feel like I've had these qualities, but I haven't really walked in them intentionally.
Mm.
And so, now I'm like, shoot, let's do this thing. So it felt good hearing it because I'm like, oh my God, this is only the beginning. There's so much more. And
Yes.
I don't even know what it is yet. And that's the exciting part instead of the scary part these days.
Right, right. I'm so glad you I know she got a lot of exciting stuff going in her life, and we're
Yes.
gonna try to get it as much of it in 30 minutes. But I want to say this, and you said something, and I want to highlight this. And this is the whole reason I'm doing the podcast. The whole
Hmm.
reason we have this weird notion, and I know why, because we've been conditioned as a society to think that as we age, somehow life kind of decreases in its
Hmm.
quality or in its vibrance or what have you. And so I, like you, when I turned 40 is when all the things started. That's when it just really, really started. Like,
Yeah.
really. So this is why I do the podcast, is so that, and I'm, what's really cool, I'm reading, our analytics, my, anal stuff. I'm looking at the podcast analytics, and I'm seeing we got 17-year-old, they're showing the
Wait,
age
hold on.
demographic.
Wait, I didn't realize the word anal was
Ah,
connected to an
come on.
analysis.
There we go.
Uh, wow. Okay, go ahead. I just needed to pause and
I
make
don't
sure
think I did
everybody
either until it came out of my mouth.
you just said that. Okay.
I did, I did. But anyway,
Okay,
back to, yeah,
anyway.
but yeah, I see that. I'm so excited because while yes, the majority of people listening are in that 40 plus age range, we are getting literally people all the way down to 17 years old listening to,
Good.
yes,
I wanna talk to them.
yes, because
Really.
we just think, oh, oh, downhill after 40. So tell
Mm-mm.
me, you said that, so that was really powerful. So as an artist, what are you seeing the big differences from, what are the differences between the 40 plus
Oh,
versus before that?
I am okay with not writing all the time. I'm okay with not being pressurized. And so that leaves me open to gather information and to be able to write better music. So
Mm.
I actually have had 4 number 1 hits, since I wrote my bio last.
Oh,
And I'm
awesome,
like,
congratulations.
"Thank you." So I'm like, "Yay." Um, a lot has happened after 40 that was 'cause I planted so many seeds from, the beginning of my career to 40.
Yeah.
And I think the difference for me now is I'm a lot less safe. I'm a lot
Mm.
I worry a lot less about how is this gonna be received because I've realized that I'm the common thread through everything I do. So if they
Mhm.
love me, which I've found that people just love to hear my voice on stuff.
Mhm.
If it's my voice, as long as it's not like completely off the wall, like I go demonic or some crap like that and become like a witch, then I think, they're going to receive it in a positive way.
Yeah.
Especially after they hear the story behind it. So I'm a lot less safe. Even like I would have never gotten hair color. Now this is Texas. This is Dallas.
Y'all who are just listening, she points her hair. What is the Texas? I mean, your hair is always, it's, you always do fun stuff with your hair. But what?
I appreciate you. I had to pull the front back because it drew up in the humidity, and
Oh,
I didn't
that's
know what's that. This was all beautifully like, and it took me a long time to get it to where it was. And the shrinkage is starting because we've been
shrinkage.
here a week already. And I tried because I had a photo shoot yesterday. I would have
Uh,
never done hair color when I was before 40. When I turned 40, I was like, let's do the highlights. Let's do the whole, I'm a Leo rising. So I'm like, let's make it look like a lion on at
yes.
least on the end. So when I do my natural hair, so I've always changed my hair a lot, but I feel like it's never been a permanent change. It's always been something that could be temporary. So I could always go back if I don't feel. I always second
Mm.
guessed myself. And now I'm just like, it'll grow back or I'll recolor it. It's cool.
Right.
I have a lot more freedom now, musically
Mm.
and personally. So the personal freedoms are coming out, I noticed in my music, especially with this last single called Dishonest Smile. It
Yeah.
was the one that got streamed the most. And so
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm coming into it now.
You are. You are. And this is, I cannot say this enough to artists, that the beauty of being an artist is you being the artist. Like that is the
Yes.
that is the and unfortunately, because of social media, because of so much that we're just watching, consuming, we missing the authenticity of
Yes.
artistry. And not just, "Ooh, that song is good." I'm talking about, like, the authenticity of the artist,
Mhm.
because if the artist can really show up, now you're gonna get a whole 'nother thing from them, and a lot of levels. So,
Yeah, and I'm
yeah.
noticing that, like, when an artist really gets it, there's, like, this buzzing vibrancy that you hear
Mm.
in the music, like, "Oh my god, they're in their prime right now," and
Yes.
I'm witnessing it. So I don't have all of the activity lined up. but the
Mhm.
quality of my work is reflecting that. So I'm waiting for the rest of it to come after. And I know it's going to come, so I'm not worried about it.
I love that. I love
I'm
it.
just chilling. But there's like
Yes.
this chill that you get when you hear when an artist does what they were designed to do. And I
Yes.
just love it.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny you say that. I'm gonna ask the next question, but I
Mm.
gotta say this because and by the time people hear this, this will be old news because we been we record early. But I posted this on social media so people can go way back by the time they
Yeah,
hear this. But Shantae Moore performed on the Soul Train Awards, Music Awards.
I miss them.
You
I'm sorry.
didn't miss. Well, let me.
Okay.
The awards, I don't want to, no disrespect because I really honor Soul Train. I mean, I think Soul Train is such a catalyst for Black music in so many ways.
Okay.
I was very concerned though watching, and I had to turn it off. And what ended up happening is I'm like going through social media the next day and I see a clip of Shantae Moore.
Yeah.
OMG, she killed it. She was
Yeah.
beyond. I mean, she's already a phenomenal artist, and we know this about Shantae's voice. But
Right.
what you just said, now Shantae is close. I want to say she's close to 55. I want to,
Hmm.
if not 55. Her vocals almost sound to me in that moment sounded a bit
Better.
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 Exactly.
I saw the clip. I just didn't know
Yes.
where it was from. So thank you for telling me it was the
Yes.
Soul Train Music
Yes.
Awards. Because I
Yes.
sure I've been out here chilling and living. I
But
needed to
yes.
sleep.
Yes. No. And please. But
I'm awake.
Selena got 2 babies, so that's
Whew.
why. But that's just kind of
Yeah.
piggybacking on this when you're really going to the truth of who you are, how it shows up, and beyond artists, just anything that we do,
Mhm.
how when we get, to the truth. So let's move forward a little bit. You're just hitting 40.
Yes.
And in this kind of 40 space, is there anything that's surprising you that you're just starting it? Is there something that's like, this is surprising?
I didn't realize how much I was willing to give up in order to just be comfortable in my own skin.
Mm,
Like literally, if the vibe ain't right, I ain't doing it. And I really didn't think I had that in me because I've been so let me make sure everybody's okay for like my whole life. Let me make sure that what I'm doing isn't rocking any boats.
mm,
Let the boats sink. I will be happy. I will be at peace. So if you ain't all about what's making me comfortable or happy, or you're not willing to work with me on it, there's
yeah,
nothing to do here. So I
yeah.
was surprised about that aspect of things. And the same thing, I I changed a lot of my team
Mm,
once I turned 40 because
mm.
I realized the places where
Girl, we're twins. That happened to me when I turned 40.
God,
Musically, I
duh.
completely changed my team.
Yeah, I had to change the team because the current team really was expecting the same things from before and couldn't update. And they also didn't believe in me in this new phase that I'm
Yeah.
in. So I'm just like, if you don't understand transformation, then and you really aren't vibing with me the way I thought that we were
Right.
vibing. And, because I'm doing something different every single that I release, there's something
Yeah.
different that you hear in it. And so I'm like, if you can't roll with me, we got to go a different direction. And so I found
Mm,
what I believe is a great team. And so we're, doing some different things now. And
yeah.
Dishonest Smile was my biggest hit as a result of being. So I'm like,
See?
okay, so
Yeah.
trusting my gut is another thing and not just accommodating people and betraying my gut.
Mm, betraying your gut. Girl, I
Yeah,
might have to, I don't say, am I gonna put that as your title of your podcast? Yes, because yeah.
do it. Cause I just came up with that just now. I had been
Yeah.
betraying my daggone gut for I don't know how long. So yeah, let's make that the title.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And what's so powerful about that, our gut is, it's kind of a, anecdotal saying or whatever, but really seriously, gut instinct, like all of that.
Mhm.
And even what's funny is anatomically, your gut is the second brain. Like it is lit-
We could talk about that for an hour, but we'll skip that. And it actually changes your brain's decisions based off what you eat and what's going on with it.
uh-huh.
Different things will feed your brain, and your brain's not working at the optimal level if you
Uh-huh.
put the wrong thing in your stomach. So your gut is really the leader. I
Is
would say the gut
exact
is the brain.
yes. It's it I mean, my medical doctors would be like, well, no, not talking about, but we know what we mean by that, meaning that, and so trusting that, and that is the part I think that people will hear their gut, they'll feel
Mhm.
their gut, they'll think about it, but trust it. That's a whole
Mhm.
nother, because trust equals action. Like you now are beginning to do something. So
Yeah.
I think that's, yeah, no, 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 that's huge.
Yeah.
And so, okay, and you have, though, you just had a baby.
Yeah.
This second baby.
5 months ago.
Yes, like just had a baby. Like
Yes.
we weren't
Yes.
just saying like no, we just had a baby.
Yeah.
And how is family life? This isn't one of the questions that I give them pre-questions. This one made me think of it. But how is
Yeah.
family life informing you artistically, or is it? Maybe it's not.
Um, I always have said I'm gonna put family first and not music first. I'm gonna work music around my family.
Mm,
And I think that's been a good decision for me
mhm,
because as my family has grown, I've just written music about it.
mm,
So Discovering was about me becoming a mother, walking into motherhood. That was when I was 38ish. And
mhm,
then now, after having gotten pregnant for the second time, I realized I'm still in this chapter of like giving a dishonest smile or a dishonest version of who I am to try to appease other people. And I need to
mm,
drop that. So I
yeah.
released Dishonest Smile. So I think the timing of the releases has been informed by chapters of my emotional life that have been closed and figured out and processed. And now it's like, hey, look, I figured it out. I hope it blesses you too.
Yes,
Kind of
yes. I
thing.
mean, and that's what
Yeah.
art is, informing life. And I think it's rare right now in a lot of our mainstream music spaces. I mean, other than really obvious, I call it, quite myopic or one layered, or things that are happening. And in fact, really what we're needing right now is, really, we need to hear some real stories right now, so that we're
Yeah.
beginning to work on ourselves differently. But if we're, so doing Dishonest Smile really opens the door for you to reflect on, where am I doing that exact same thing? And that's what we need so badly
Mm.
right now.
I literally wrote that on the bathroom floor crying because
Oh,
I had
wow.
reached a point where I was like, I can't do this. I don't know how I'm
Mm,
supposed to do all of this. And I'm about to have a kid, and then there's that rhythm that's changing. How am I
mhm,
supposed to do all this? And then I decided I'm not going to do all of it. And that's after that is when I released it. So I'm hoping that when people hear my music, they realize they're not alone, that
mhm,
nobody is exempt from having to transform or adjust to things or release some stuff or learn some
mm,
stuff about themselves, do some shadow work. And
mm,
I have been really, really, especially lately, now that I've been in therapy for the good therapy that was really transformative, it's been a year.
okay, I was gonna
I've,
say that was gonna be my. It's so funny. I was getting ready to go to the therapy space, because the
yeah,
way that you're explaining this to me is, it's from a very informed space. But keep going. Yeah.
yeah, I've had a really great therapist for the past year. And I met her right after I found out I was pregnant with Ella. Baby
Mm,
Ella changed a lot of things. That whole pregnancy
mm,
changed a lot. It changed our family dynamic in some positive ways. It's all positive because you learn and then you realize, okay, well, I got to heal from this and then I got to move on and then it's going to be better later.
right.
Um, but yeah, I've been in therapy off and on since in college was my first
Oh
experience.
wow.
So it's been a
Okay.
long time,
Yeah.
but lots of space in between where I was just living and thinking I didn't need it.
Yeah.
After the pandemic, I was like, this needs to be at least monthly because clearly I had some stuff that was like tucked away in my armpit somewhere that I need to I need to process that.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So yeah,
absolutely.
I
Yeah,
encourage it.
no. No, yeah, I mean, we could do a whole podcast on therapy. Obviously,
You
as
can.
a person with a master's in counseling, and, I
Mhm.
too I didn't start therapy, I really didn't start therapy until I was getting my master's in
Okay.
counseling. So that was about 20 years ago.
Okay.
Um, and I'm 50 now. So I was approaching 30. I hadn't really given it. I mean, I thought about it, but
Mhm.
and so now, what are you talking about, please? I mean, I But I'm now one of the things I encourage people, and I wonder if this is for you when finding this new therapist, is finding a therapist that's going to really take you not just, oh, these are my issues, but really wholly, holistically, who
Mhm.
are you? Not just
Right,
what is this problem? What did this thing happen? What used to happen? But
right.
who are you? And and so you kind of answer, because I was going to go
Mhm.
into how are you finding your voice, like what tools are you using, what strategies, what's supporting you in this.
Definitely therapy, but honestly, just letting go of what everyone else thinks is the right formula.
Mm,
Because it's easy for me to just my brain follows formulas very well. It senses patterns and it just sticks to those. And I can be
mm,
very methodical and get in my head very easily.
mm.
So now I basically threw away all my systems and now I'm like, what does life look like? And I'm playing. Now this is the time to have fun. I can really have fun with my career instead of it being fun because I accomplished this big thing and I get this opportunity. Now it's like, I think I like bossa nova now. So I just want
Yeah.
to come up with the bossa nova record and just see what happens. And
Yes.
I'm more in a see what happens mode. So getting there was a lot because I have two parents who made a lot of sacrifices.
Mm,
They came up out of the hood to make sure that I could live in the suburbs and have a chance. I was usually the only Black person in my class,
mm, mhm,
sometimes in my entire school.
mm,
And so they did the sacrificing so that I could thrive. And so I'm
mhm.
like, I can't go out like that where I just stay in survival mode forever and then follow every
Yeah.
system and try to just make it look good for everybody else because that was the thing to do before.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
done all the school, I've done all the learning that I'm going to do and all the being careful I'm going to do. Now I have some lessons and some skills in my arsenal where I could get rid of the survival portion, but
Mm,
still know what to do in a survival situation. But then I can just kind of loosen up a little bit and just live. I just want to
yeah.
live. I,
Yeah. Mm,
so doing new things used to be like I need to have a whole list, and I have a list because I have kids to be responsible for now. But
right.
um, now it's more like there's some things that are going to fall into place at the last minute, and I'm okay with
Mm,
that because I know what to do. Because I'm sitting in myself now,
mm.
a
I
lot
love
better.
that. I love
You
that.
know?
Yeah, and I'm thinking about, as processing what you're saying, and I think about when I had my little babies, when my babies were your age or your kids' ages.
Yeah.
Um and I was just so exhausted and so in the survival mode that it was really difficult for me to figure out how to play.
Right.
And what ended up happening was when my youngest was 2, I literally had like a breakdown, like a
Oh,
full out breakdown. And that's when I got back into music. And so my kids
mhm.
really only kind of know me as an artist. That's just kind of, they grew up because my youngest, he was 2. And of course, so that's all he really understood as mom. And my
Right.
oldest was, maybe 5 when I started, getting into it. And it was interesting. We were having brunch over this Thanksgiving break, and my oldest said, I want to raise my kids just how you raised me.
Oh,
Just
that's a huge
that's
compliment.
the last
Ooh.
yes. And I'm like, "Oh my God." Yeah, and I don't even know if he really heard himself say it. And I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, no, you made me go outside, you played, and I was doing all kinds of things. And now I'm, creative, and you allow me to kind of think about, explore the boundaries, not really have that many I mean, he has boundaries, but not like." And I
Not
say
limiting
this,
ones.
yes,
Life limiting boundaries.
yes. So I'm so happy that you're finding this now while they're little, because they're going to watch this. They're going to watch this, feel this, normalize this. And
Yeah.
this is what I want to encourage, listeners. Don't think you talked about the systems and following the rules, and that's especially as Black people, you know just historically what we've gone through, our parents generationally doing things for us so that we can have a better situation, a better life. At the same time, and A
Yeah.
lot of these systems really restrict us, and I do find that after 40, a lot of people are really tackling, how do I unlearn the system? So that was just really powerful that you said that and that you're doing that. Keep doing
Mhm.
that. I'm on the other side where the kid said, "Yeah, I want to be raised just like I want to raise my kids just
Oh.
like that." And I'm like, "Wow." Okay. And now my other kid didn't say that. He didn't say he didn't say, "Yeah." He just sat
Well,
there.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
I
it's all
think
right.
that's yeah, what I'm finding from talking to other parents is that's the nature of it.
Yes. Oh
You
yeah.
know, each kid kinda even though they're in the same household, they're still raised differently because, being a parent of 1 is different from being a parent of 2, which is different from being a parent of 3,
Girl.
and so, I'm gonna give myself a little kindness when it comes to parenting because I don't know everything, and I really don't know anything, and this is an entirely new child, 2 entirely new children, and they both have very different approaches on life, Lord Jesus, so I'm just, I'm doing my best to make sure they don't feel overprotective of themselves when they go out
Mm,
into deciding what
mm.
they want to do, giving them options, letting them know they have parameters, but they also have plenty of options. Like, okay, you're bored right now. Let's find something else for you to do. Do you want to play with this or this? They're
Right, right,
young,
right.
but still, I mean, even when my baby came out, she had a favorite boob to breastfeed from. And I was like, this is amazing. You
Yeah,
just
they
came out
do.
knowing what you like.
Yeah, they
And
do.
so I'm excited to continue on in that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah,
No,
parenting.
that's parenting, girl, that's another episode. So, but
Yes.
I do wanna talk about because this coincides with parenting is how we've talked about kind of finding your voice and some of the behaviors, but what are
Mhm.
maybe some of the actions, the ways that you're nurturing Selena, separate from kids, hubby? What are we doing that's just for Selena?
I do 10-minute mindfulness meditations whenever I can fit them in.
Mm, mm,
I love to take baths. I love going to the spa, although that gets expensive to do regularly.
yeah.
I love going to the chiropractor. So I do things like acupuncture, chiropractic care. I do health stuff. And
Mhm,
then if I know that Josh is going to be out of town, Josh is my husband. If I
mhm.
know Josh is going to be out of town or I'm going to have time away from my husband and my kids, overnight, I'm going to a hotel
Come
to
on
just do what
now.
I want to do and then take myself out to dinner by myself. That's
Mm,
something I used to do when I was single and I
mhm.
don't get to do it anymore, take myself out on dates. So
Yeah,
I date myself, I relax and do stuff like that. And
yeah.
then also one thing I did that I just discovered, just this is just like a week or 2 ago.
Mhm.
I went with one of my friends to a smash room.
I
I
don't
should
think
have
I
stretched.
know.
I should have stretched beforehand, but you literally just have a whole bunch of stuff that, it's like secondhand stuff, and you get to literally be in a room and you have tools and you can smash stuff. This has opened up a whole new world for me. I
You
didn't
mean
realize.
like kinda like just smash it with like a tool?
Yeah, like a mallet. You can smash stuff with a crowbar, a bat, whatever. You're in a room, you have safety glasses on, and stuff. You can wear a mask over your mouth for the dust
Right, right.
and a bandana. You literally just smash stuff. And I think I didn't process anger ever in my
Mhm,
life.
mhm.
So it always came out as quieting myself or diluting myself because nobody else should experience anger from me because that would
Mm,
rock the boat, right?
yeah.
So, but to process it in the form of destroying stuff that was already going to the landfill anyway.
Uh-huh,
But I
uh-huh.
get to like let it be my treasure after it was someone else's trash. I loved every daggone minute of it. It was great.
It's that's that
You
yes,
have
that's
to
like
try it.
somatic therapy, like, it's where you're physically getting out, and as women particularly, because we are so conditioned to not express anger
Mm-hmm.
or fear of judgment, ridicule, shame, all the other things that go with that, so we
Yeah.
suppress that, and it comes out in irritability, it comes,
Yeah.
in fatigue and demotivation and then other habits. And so
Mm-hmm.
when we have the opportunity to get anger out physically,
Yes.
it's like, "Oh, what a release," and that's why, like,
Yes.
boxing itself, like, those things, people a lot of women will be like, "Oh my gosh."
But that's the thing, like, we need to release everything, not just the stuff that's socially acceptable to release, and not in these socially acceptable ways. So me
Right.
finding out how to take care of myself and that it was so important to take the time to take care of myself because I really do need it was
Mhm,
huge at 40.
mhm,
I was the one over a decade ago who introduced my husband to the spa and manis
mhm,
and petties and stuff. And I always did it because it was necessary, but I didn't really like get in it and enjoy it and know that it's like part of being productive, you
mhm,
know? Taking
mhm.
care of yourself and resting is part of productivity because then you get to be your best for the next thing. I didn't realize it was that deep.
Yes.
I was doing
Yes.
it without realizing. So, but now it's like I want to just have a whole spa day. If I have the funds for it, I will stay there all day. Leave for lunch, come back. And my sleep is really important to me because I get so little of it. So if I could just
Yeah.
have somebody come over, take care of the kids so I can take a bath and a nap. Sometimes it's just
Listen.
that.
Listen, and I used to make those dates with my girlfriends when we would like, "Here, you take the kids this tonight, I'm just gonna take a nap today."
Mhm.
And yes, maybe take a bath or like you said, go get a meal by myself. So
Yes.
yeah, and the beautiful thing, as you keep aging, now that, I'm 50, my kids are older, I can do this all the time, like, going out
Yeah.
to dinner by myself, like, it's so fun. I was like, I know a lot of people are like, "What?"
No.
Listen, mm-mm. Dates with
It's
self,
yes.
especially when you are doing these things. Okay,
Mm,
so I could go on and on. We are getting
absolutely.
closer to time, but
I
I
know.
know.
I felt it. We didn't do any of the questions
I know, but I'm getting
that you
ready to do
probably
2
wouldn't
of
do.
them. I'm getting
Okay,
ready to do
okay,
2 of them.
okay.
And then we're gonna what are you most looking forward to at this stage of your life?
Everything. Um, I'm just looking forward to playing more. In the beginning, like I was so focused on being a solo artist that the whole collaborative aspect of things, I think I didn't really allow myself to do that as much as I wanted to. So I want to
Mhm,
collaborate with people I really, really enjoy working with. I'm
mhm,
excited to just be enhanced by that and always to be a student,
mhm, mhm,
and to learn new things and learn new music, learn new languages, just everything new.
mm.
So I'm most excited for this relocation overseas that
Da,
I'm
da, da,
about to take.
da.
Me and my family about to move to Europe, and we're
Wow.
so excited. I don't know how
Wow.
how, you know, long it's gonna take for this to be released,
I
but
know, I'm like, I might have to time this and push yours up because I mean, I don't know. We have to figure out because it'll either be old news or new news.
it's all good. Either way, like it'll be
Yeah.
special. So, I'm mostly excited to just have new adventures because now we
Yeah.
can. We're not doing the whole practicum and working on, hustling and stuff. Hustle
Right.
culture can kiss my entire behind because it made me miss out on so many great moments connecting with
Mhm,
people. And so I'm
mhm.
looking forward to just like collaboration, connecting, and exploring and playing. Those are
Yes.
like the four main things. And having my kids watch me do it would be a dream because that's always been my dream is to show show our kids the world. And this is
Yeah.
before they even came. I was like, I just want to travel the world with my kids and go do excursions and eat new foods
Oh my
with
gosh.
our
And you're getting
kids.
ready to
And
do
we're about to
this.
do it.
Oh, that's just
Finally.
so yes. Congratulations.
Thank
I already
you.
knew a little about this, but I'm just, whenever I hear you and I see your enthusiasm and, your excitement,
I'm just
it
like,
excites me too. But it's such a time, the episode that I had recorded prior to yours was talking about solo travel abroad, and it's
yes.
so important to see yourself in other
Mm-hmm.
spaces. I think we get
Yes.
caught up thinking about seeing the space, and that's good. Absolutely. You want to see the other
Right.
cultures and the foods and activities, all that. But seeing yourself in the other space,
Yeah.
that's remarkable. So I think, you doing this and going abroad, you're gonna learn so much more about Selena. you know?
I learned a lot just going right before we found out we were pregnant. I went to Italy, and I stayed there for a week and really got to enjoy it, eat with our chosen family out there, and I got to do a few shows out there too. And I didn't realize how much I love gardens. When I
Mm,
came back, we had our house, and so I built a garden from scratch
mhm.
out of just regular old sod. Like me and my husband
Wow.
dug it up, and we ate from our garden, and that's become,
Wow.
a part of our life now. That's just one example, but I can't wait to figure out like what else I really love to do.
That's such a cool example. Like, you went
Mhm.
to Italy, experienced the garden, came back, built your own garden, and then boom. So this is why it's just so
Yeah,
important, travel. Okay. All right.
absolutely.
This is my last question. Well, it's last question, and then I'm gonna have you obviously share with others how they can, follow you and get all
Okay.
the goods. But now this is hard for musicians. I know it, because I got 3 million songs in my head all the time. But is there a particular song that's like a theme song for you?
Yes. Okay,
Okay.
so right now in this very moment, living my life like it's golden.
Mhm. Timeless. Timeless song.
When I tell you that song, I mean, I hear it all the time in my head because I'm just like, hey, and you see me, I'm out here living my life like it's golden. You know what I'm saying? So
Uh-huh.
I'm really grateful for that song
Yeah.
because, well, it's very challenging to sing too,
It
because
is.
you can't possibly say living my life like it's golden, living my life like how did she do that? Did she record and overlap the shit or
Right? Right. Those of us who have sang that song,
woo?
it is. It's like, okay, I sound really redundant right
Like
now. Am I doing it? What? And then you don't want to overdo it, because then it loses the whole point of the song, right?
yeah, so you have to
Yeah.
skip one of the living my life like it's
Right.
golden
Right.
to go to the next
Get to
one
the
and then
next
it's
one.
like,
Golden, golden,
but
living my life.
I feel like yeah, but I feel like the pace of my life is just like right now we in our groove.
Ah, I
So
love
thank you,
it.
Jill Scott, for living my life like it's golden. You not
Yes.
only sang the heck out of it, but that is the story of my life right now. Because
Awesome.
that's the
Yeah.
whole point. That's like the goal of the
Yeah.
rest of my life. I'm not trying to live with any boundaries. I'm finding my freedom.
And that's what I was gonna say. The very first lyric, was just the way she even just breaks into it.
Yes.
All her songs do. I mean, she just
Finding my
lyrically,
freedom.
yeah.
I'm like,
Taking it
yes,
off the shelf and, taking it in my
yes.
car, like, and it's just a really powerful, yeah. I mean, it's so
Wow.
funny. I was just telling my partner, I said, "We need to do a show where we just, like, review music," like, because there's
Yes.
so much, people that have done magic, and just to bring those lyrics alive again. So, that's
Yes.
a good one. I will take it. I will
Why
take
do
it.
we why do we put our freedom on the shelf so often?
Yes.
Like that's the thing. That's the stuff of life.
Uh-huh.
That's what that's how we find ourselves. And we be putting it up there, just letting it sit and
Just
collect
let it sit.
dust.
Yep. Yep.
And it's all in our heads too. I think we have a lot more opportunities to be free than we
Oh
give
my
ourselves
gosh.
credit for.
Absolutely. Hence this podcast. I'm like,
Yeah.
please, please, I want
Yes.
people to understand that this access is all yours. And while, yes, we're talking to an artist right now, and we've talked to people who maybe are, more publicly seen, I think it's
Yeah.
important. That's why I do bring in people that nobody has ever heard of or anything, so that you see that no matter where you are, you should be shining your light, like,
Yeah.
wherever it is. Well, this has been wonderful. We are going to continue with just a couple more questions in our bonus. So I'm really, those of you who are just like, I want to hear some more from this
Is
artist,
it this
Selena,
woman?
this woman. I want to learn some more. I want to hear some more. Join us on Patreon. So go to patreon.com/finding your voice. And if you subscribe to any tier, you have access. Yeah, I know. Well, you are a woman.
I'm sorry. It was the
I'm
voice you
sorry.
used.
I
I
know.
don't
I
know
do
who
that.
it
I
was.
like shifting to voices. Sometimes it's kind of weird, but
Yes,
I know I don't
this
do
woman.
voiceovers. I need to do
Okay,
voiceovers. But anyway,
do it.
please. So we're going to go into that. But before we go into that, please share, how can people learn more about you, your website, your social media? How can they get more of
It's very
Selena?
easy.
Mhm.
It's at Selina Albright everywhere or www.selinaalbright.com. I made it
Boom.
super easy for y'all. Just make sure you spell it like it is, right?
Yes, right.
right
I
here.
in the show notes, those of you who aren't watching, yes, Selena, she does it like Selena, the other singer, Selena. So Selina, right? Is that how she oh, no, she goes
No,
ENA.
she goes
She's
ENA.
she
That's why people find
does,
Selena
yes.
Los Dinos or they find Selena Gomez if they do it that way.
Yeah, no, it's not,
So
it's I.
Selina. And if people see me cross my eyes, they typically remember it's the I.
There you go. I have a really other good girlfriend named Selena, but she spells it Celina. So
Ah, I've seen that too.
yeah,
Yes,
gotta remember. So awesome. All right. So we'll put that in the show notes as well.
yes.
Thank you so much for this.
Thank you.
Yes, I knew it was gonna be fun. I always have fun talking to you.
Me
Very much
too.
kindred spirits. And we're gonna continue just with a couple more questions. But for now, we will see everybody else next week. We'll be back next week.
Bye.
All right. Bonus. That's just for
Yes.
editing. Bonus. All right. So
And we're
people who are
back.
watching, all right, we're back for 5 more minutes. But what advice, because there's a lot of people, everybody and their mama is a TikTok star, and TikTok is really making people believe they are stars. They've created an algorithm to allow people to get virally, and so they believe, but then it's time to actually make an income and manage the income and not go bankrupt, all
Yeah.
these things. What advice that artist, particularly that singer, that artist that is like, I want to get into this, I'm over 40 or I'm approaching 40, what advice would you give them?
This one's hard because
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like I've had not all the wrong advice, but I haven't had advice for my time period in the world that we came up in. But
Mm,
I think that that can all be remedied if you just know who you are. So the more work you can do to figure out what your identity is and
mm.
what makes you tick and what makes you angry, please go to therapy, y'all. You need it for this industry anyway,
Yes,
because if
Lord.
you are not grounded, it will take you and blow you around like a fallen leaf in the wind.
Yeah, yeah.
So figure out who you are and what's important to you, and just start there and start with, okay, what is my environment? How's my
Mm,
environment reacting to who I am? And how can I bring that into my craft? All of that stuff starts to work out.
yeah,
Any
yeah,
question you have about like where to move next, who should be on your team.
yeah.
And I think the second thing I would say is to make sure that your team really believes in what you're doing and
God,
isn't seeing
Jesus.
you as a chore. Yeah. They really have to be like,
Ooh, seeing you
you're
as a
not
chore. Mm,
right. Like you're not at this point yet, but I can see it and I'm going to do the work that literally you have one job. I'm going to do the work it takes to get you to that point and I'm going to do my best because I believe we can get there. Or if I
yeah,
don't believe we can get there this way, we can get there another way. If they're not giving you positive messages about who you are and then acting on them and following through with them, that's not your tribe, that's not your
not your
team,
tribe. That's not, and it's
you know?
hard, because a lot of times artists are, when you're first starting out or when you're doing it based on friendships, and this person told me about this person, so now I have kind of this loyalty situation going on. And so you get caught. Yes, I was in the
Yep.
same situation and it was devastating. I will have to say, for me, it was devastating to make that shift. I know it had to be. I literally was in heavy tears with one of my mentors, and he was like, you have it, but you're not going to get it staying with this group. You're
Right.
going to have to let them go and get the people who can get you where you really need to be. And
Yeah.
it was probably one of the hardest, it was the hardest decision I had to make as an artist, because
Yeah.
it was a big loss, but it was like you said, it was one of the best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
once you get over the emotional aspect of it and the because you do have to mourn more
Yes.
things than you give yourself credit for.
Yeah.
Because there's like a synergy that even though it didn't work, there's a synergy you probably had working with this person. Now you have to find a
Absolutely.
whole new one, and it's kind of like breaking up,
It
out of a
is.
relationship, and then what is a break? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it
Then you got to
is.
figure out what life is like after that. But then you realize, oh shoot, now that this is gone and this was like a parasite situation, now I have people who I can grow with. Here's my
Yes.
compost, to go back
Yes.
to gardening terms. And
Yeah.
you just want to find a team that makes you feel like you're dope. You're as dope as you
Mm,
are,
yes.
you
I
know?
couldn't say it better, but what you were saying, so people listening, and even if you're not an artist, that's with anything. You have
Mhm.
to be willing to let go. I mean, this is kind of the cycle of life is it's the
Yeah.
loss and the rebirth and the loss and the rebirth. It's a constant, constant. And the reason why we feel crazy in the hamster wheel is because we will not let go a lot of
Right.
times so that we can
Yes.
get the next thing in motion. So it's very, yes. All right.
Everything is seasonal.
It is. It is
Literally everything is.
literally,
Some
literally, literally.
sometimes the season is longer, and sometimes it's shorter, and if you don't let go of that season, it just gets really uncomfortable.
Yep. Yep.
And now that the season is coming to a close here in the United States, if we stay any longer than God tells us to, it's about to get uncomfortable. So next time you
Mm.
see me,
I
I might already
know.
be there.
I know. I'm just well, no, I'm telling everybody, go,
Please.
yeah, I just think it's important right now. And I just think people of color, brown, black, indigenous, we have to explore ourselves beyond what we've been conditioned to explore ourselves here. It's serious. I mean, yes, there's a lot of great things in America, but
Yeah.
there is a but to this. Usually I say,
Mhm.
no, it's a but. There's a but.
Mhm.
'Cause there's also a lot of of hmm, a lot of beyond the trauma, but just a lot that is pulling us back. So I'm
Mhm.
just excited that you and hubby are you and Josh are like, let's do it. Let's do
Our
it. You can always
kids
change your mind. Yeah.
our
Yeah.
kids are gonna be multilingual. That's such a
Yes.
dream to me. Like, I have literally so I'm
Yes.
excited about that. I hope people look at my life and realize that they can do it too.
Mhm.
Because I've dealt with a lot of hard stuff and I've been very open about this stuff.
Mhm.
I almost was not on this earth 5 months ago. Like, literally almost died.
Literally.
So,
Mm.
you know, especially after 40 having that happen,
Yeah.
everything's changed.
Right, right.
I'm
It's
doing what I want.
yeah.
If you're not into it, okay, well, this is noise at this point.
Yes.
I'm about to.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, that's huge.
we're at that. Me and my husband are at the same phase, which makes it all the more beautiful. And he's really excited, and so am I.
I
But
need to
thank you for
talk to
being
Josh.
happy.
Yes. Oh my God. I'm not some people hoard their like love for people. Like I don't hoard love. Like no, give them their flowers. Like you said, they could vanish and not always vanish just to death. They could vanish because they just don't want to be bothered with you anymore. So it's like,
Yeah,
give people their credit. All right, this is the last thing. Then we got to go. We got to go
I
because
know,
I
I
know.
know,
I know.
I know.
What did I not ask you that you wish I would have asked you? Or what is something you just want to share that you haven't got a chance to share?
Actually, I think you covered because we didn't go based off of the
I
questions,
know, girl.
that you intended to. Because you said I'm probably going to ask about this. I think we did it. I think you did it, Kenya. Like,
Ah.
this was a really comfortable, um, and I could tell you did, research. You knew what was going on. You got the bio and everything. I'm sure you got the picture and stuff. No, you did a really great job. I have no further questions, Your Honor. I'm, I'm at that point. I'm like, this feels like it's complete.
Oh,
Um,
I
and
love
everybody
it.
knows where to find me, so it's cool. I do want to say I'm really proud of you because I've got little
Oh,
snippets of kind of like your life at different stages,
yeah.
very little snippets, and it's always there's been a lot of transformation.
Oh my
And so
God.
to see all the transformation happen and you're still doing the damn thing, I'm just really proud of you. And I'm glad you're doing
Oh.
this podcast. I think it's really needed. I know it's going to be huge. So
I
I just had
thank
to say
you.
that.
No, I appreciate I receive it and thank you. And it's just, I podcasting for me is anywhere where I can kind of shine other people and story tell in a way that's not just about my stories, but still be like,
Yeah.
listen to this person, like
Yeah.
listen to their experience. It's just really fun for me. It's really exciting. So I receive that. And yes, my Scorpio soul death and transformation. Like I'm just and you
Yes.
too have got a lot of I mean Scorpios, that's a big beauty that we do that well. We do that
Yeah.
well. That ability to transform. And so I think it's, for me, it's like, yeah, why not? But as I get older, it's like, oh girl, you gonna change again? So, but
Oh,
yes, but
yes.
I feel good about it. So I received that. So thank you.
Yeah, because 'cause you're not doing the thing where
Yeah.
you have to make it look good for other people. Like, you're
Yeah.
doing what's true to you in that season, and that I actually have, been inspired by that.
Good.
People like you have actually helped me to have the strength to do what I'm doing right now. So now I'm not gonna go on and on.
Ah.
So you have to get to the
I
next
know,
thing,
but I
but
could go on. And honestly, I'll say this and then we can stop. We talk, my mentors, I have two really, one major in the music industry, my producer, Kendall. Kendall constantly is reinventing himself. Like right now, he's a vegan chef and he's opening up,
oh, cute.
restaurants, and he's a music producer and he also plays a trombone and then he also owns a music marketing firm. And, he does movies. And I'm like, oh my God. And at first it's like, that's just too much. And he's like, listen, whatever, if you have a seed planted in you, it wasn't
Yeah.
there it's not there to rot. It's trying to bloom. So do what
Mhm.
you need to do to bloom it. And I think having people like that around me has made me, like, no, I can be whatever I want to be when I want to
Yeah.
be it.
It's a matter of time and
Yes.
timing.
Timing.
Yeah,
Timing. So
that part. I
that part.
love
Oh,
you.
I love you
I love
too.
talking to
I
you.
I do. So this
Yeah.
has been wonderful. And those of you who are watching, we gonna wrap it up now. We're gonna wrap it up. I am gonna push in for recording, but Selena, stay right there for just a
Oh,
moment so that it's not
okay.
just like, yeah. So we'll be back. Again, follow Selena. Make sure you check out her music is amazing,
Thank
amazing.
you.
And not only just, lyrically, we talked about lyrics, but oh my God, like your vocal, yeah, your vocal ability and your tone and the fun you have with your vocals. Like it's fun
Thank
singing
you.
songs with you. I like to, like artists
Yes.
we can sing with you. It's annoying when I can't sing a song. It's like, oh God, I can't sing it or
That's a
try.
huge compliment. That's a huge compliment. I haven't gotten that one before, so thank you for that.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
I
always
think
the
a lot.
intention.
Yeah, and even people like a Layla who was like, "Oh my gosh," but you still try. You have fun because you're like, "Well, let me see if I can try.
Oh,
Let's
yes.
see if I can do it." You
I
know.
always try.
I love artists like that where it's still
Yes.
accessible, but you gotta like take six. You gotta work.
Yeah.
Like I gotta listen. I gotta figure it
Yes.
out. So yeah,
It tickles
it
the air a
tickles.
little bit. Yes.
Yeah, I
I'm
want Mark
glad. Thank
Kibble on
you.
this podcast badly because Mark, what they do, and I'm working on it. We getting there. I
Wait,
think
do you have contact information on
I
him?
do.
Okay, okay.
I just
I
don't
was
want
about to
him
say
to think I'm a stalker quite yet. Because right now I'm feeling a little stalkish, So I'm just trying to, we
okay.
talked a little bit on LinkedIn, so I'm like, let me just kind of. And then I know Claude McKnight. I do know Claude,
Okay,
but
okay.
I don't want to be like using people too badly. So you know what I mean. And Claude's a friend, so I respect that. I want Mark to do it because he's interested in doing it. So
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna put in a little word,
I said
little
you can
bug
put a word; it won't
in this
hurt, but
podcast
don't
too.
feel
Just be like, "Hey, just in case."
just in case if she reaches out.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy. He's been very
Yeah.
responsive. So
He's so
yeah,
cool.
he's
Yeah.
mad cool, like scary cool. All right, I'm gonna be late for my meeting. We're gonna end the recording now. Stay right here just for a moment though, and we'll do a proper bye. All right, we'll see you
Okay.
guys next
Bye. Thanks
week.
for watching.
Yes. Bye.